Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair powered by StriveScan. My name is Sibel Racim. I'll be your facilitator for today's session. I'm super excited to get started. We have about 45 minutes on the clock with some absolutely amazing institutions here to tell you a little bit about themselves. Remember, though, this is just an appetizer, so they only have a short period of time to tell you a little bit about themselves, but it is up to you to make sure that you would do a deeper dive after this virtual college fair. Now, one way you could do a deeper dive throughout the college fair is by asking questions, and we absolutely encourage that. Please use that Q&A button in your Zoom toolbar to type in the questions that you may have to the presenters at any time. I stress at any time. Do not wait until the last minute, because we do not have a live Q&A happening at the end with attendee questions. So once again, there's no live Q&A with your questions. So it's really important to make sure you get those questions as soon as possible so we can get those answered for you. If you could also do us all a favor and please make sure to put the institution's name within the question so we all know who the question goes to, that would be awesome. The panelists cannot see or hear you. You're muted and your video is turned off. So once again, it's super important to use that Q&A to ask those questions, but also check the chat. The chat, although disabled on your end as an attendee, is a great place for our panelists and presenters to put some contact info or links that they want you to check out. So go ahead and check the chat occasionally as well. Now sign up for more sessions as well, because this is one of many, many college presentations offered. We do have a next session happening in the next time slot, as well as tomorrow. So there are plenty more schools for you to check out. So go ahead and sign up for those. And last but not least, maybe mom, missed out on today. Maybe a friend wants to check out these schools as well, or maybe you just want to relive the fun with us. Well, you could do that because all of these sessions are being recorded and they will be available at strivescan.com/Brooklyn Tech within the next few business days. All right, you all, I'd love to get started. So our first institution up for this virtual college fair is the University of Chicago.
Thank you so very much for that wonderful introduction. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and quickly share a PowerPoint so that you have something a little more fun and engaging to look at. We're going to talk a little bit today about our undergraduate college here at UChicago. So we are a mid-sized urban university. We have a liberal arts college housed within that research university. When I say mid-sized, I mean about 6,800 undergraduates, nice round number there. And we are known for our core curriculum. So in the true spirit of liberal arts, you are going to be taking a little bit of everything. However, we all learn the best when we're engaged, right? When we're excited and motivated about the material. And that's why there's no one class that all UChicago students take. Instead, you're going to have a choice. We give you 8 categories that we do ask you to fulfill, but each of those categories has a very wide range of classes that fit under it. And that way you get to choose something that's exciting and engaging for you without having to worry too much about that aspect. I also do want to highlight that we are on the quarter system. So you're going to be taking about 3 to 4 classes at once. That's a full course load. They are going to be shorter than those classes at our other universities that are on the semester system. So if you like to work at a fast pace, if you like to take a deep dive into a more narrow topic, the quarter system might be a great fit for you. I mentioned earlier that we are a research university. If we had more time, I would go through every detail of this aspect because it's something that's truly, really important to our community. It runs through our lifeblood. We are built around the idea of creating new knowledge, creating new perspective and ideas on campus. We do that through our small discussions-based courses in the core. We do that in research labs. We do that out in the field through our study abroad programs. There are so many different ways. Over 80% of our students do choose to pursue that spirit of inquiry and innovation through the form of research. And that happens in all of our different departments and programs. It truly does not just limit itself to the STEM fields. If you're interested in a topic, there is a way to pursue that through your own research or joining with a faculty member at the University of Chicago, which is pretty exciting. When it comes to student life, I'm going to leave this for our current students who lead a lot of awesome virtual events. I'm going to go ahead and put that information in the chat. There's a link for you to explore those virtual events and sign up. I will cover a little bit, though, about our housing program, because that is fairly unique. As you can see on the screen, we have 7 residence halls, but they're broken into about 39 groups that we call houses. A house is a cluster of students who shares common resources. It might be the bottom 2 floors of this building, or maybe the top 4 floors of that one. They're going to range in size from about 50 to 100 students, really depends on the house. They're each going to have their own table in the dining hall. They're going to have their own common areas and study areas. But what really makes them unique and such a wonderful part of the campus experience is that they have their own activities and traditions and events that they have as a group. This ranges everything in size from Sunday tea every week to regular bad movie nights, all the way up to annual huge broom ball competitions and championships. There are a lot that these houses do together, and they tend to be a pretty defining aspect of the community and the experience at UChicago. Now, we've talked a lot about the different aspects, or a little bit about the different aspects at UChicago. If this is interesting, maybe if you've already done a little research on UChicago and you know that you might be interested in applying, I just want to touch on a few aspects of our application process. We are test optional. We have been test optional since far before the pandemic, so we have a lot of experience in getting to know you with or without the help of test scores. Our application is a very choose your own adventure style. The point was to make sure that you can highlight your strengths in the way that best fits you. Your strengths and interests and passions and experiences probably don't match that of any other student. They probably don't match mine or your best friends. And we wanted to make the application very flexible so that it could reflect that. So feel free to include supplemental information or not, any sort of test scores or not. One thing that is going to be very important is our supplement. We've talked a little bit about the very strong tradition of rigor and inquiry, intellectual curiosity, thinking outside the box that comes with being a part of the UChicago community. And our supplement speaks to that. We are famous for some pretty out there essay questions that we ask folks every year. So get excited to write a really creative and fun essay prompt. We're not doing this to ask you to work, to spend more time working on this application. We're not just giving you more homework for the heck of it. We truly are asking you to have fun with the prompt so that you get to dip your toes into that creative type of thinking that you would be using a lot in our campus, both inside and outside the classroom. So I always encourage students to choose an essay prompt that speaks the most to them. Have fun with it. If you're not having fun, please feel free to choose a new prompt. You have a lot of different options. And if you're not having fun, I want you to think a little bit about how UChicago fits on your college list, because that essay is very important. From here, I will hand it over to my colleagues. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great rest of the panel.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for the University of Chicago, go ahead and put it in the Q&A at this time. Next up, we have Rochester Institute of Technology. Oh, Michael, I think you're on mute.
There go my first 30 seconds. Okay, my name is Michael.
Good. We're gonna restart, no worries.
Yes, it's all good. Let's get going then without further ado. Right from the get-go, we're actually one of the largest private universities in the country. So we have people coming from all 50 states, all walks of life, more than 90 different countries. This large size and scope means that there's a ton of different opportunities for you to interact, collaborate, and engage with people who are coming from literally all over the globe, but are also studying any number of different things. Despite this, though, I want to stress that education is very small and personal. Student-faculty ratio is 13:1. Average class size is 22 students. This is not one of those schools with enormous lecture halls where you get lost in the crowd. Your professors are going to know your name just as well as you know theirs, and you're working alongside them in the same labs and facilities on the same kinds of projects. They're really going to be much more like colleagues. Now, so all sorts of technical difficulties for a technical school. And tech may be the one reason that you are looking at us, engineering and computing, but we have 9 different colleges covering everything under the sun: art and design, liberal arts, health sciences, physical sciences. There's more than 90 different degree programs, 100 different minors. So outstanding opportunities to do interdisciplinary collaborative work with people across all sorts of different disciplines, discover new interests, or even customize your own degree. Now, the big thing about RIT is going to be co-op and just hands-on learning. We are looking for students who are passionate about what it is that they're interested in, but who really want to do a deep dive, get their hands dirty, and sink their teeth into something. Co-op is going to be the highlight of an RIT education. We're actually partnering with 3,400 different companies and more across the world. But the idea is before you even graduate, you have the opportunity to work a full-time paid job that is directly related to your major. So that when you do graduate, not only do you have a diploma, but you also have a resume that is full of real world experience. You have professional contacts, some money in your pocket. You're going to know what you want to do, but also how to do it. So that when you do leave, you are just ready to hit the ground running. They're not going to have to train you in the lab because you've literally done it all before. This kind of experience is really breeding results. 94% of our students, and this is including all the artists and philosophy and liberal arts majors as well, 94% of them are going on to grad school or getting hired within 6 months of finishing their program. One of the links that I put in the chat, majors, and I also put a co-op link in there as well. Check them out because there is a wealth of information specific to that particular major, its own individual outcome rate, full program curriculum, average starting salary, and also faculty contact. So if you do have questions and you want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, the real nitty-gritty of the program, reach out to them because we do love to talk to prospective students at RIT. Now, research is also something that is available to you, even as an undergraduate, even as a freshman. Education at RIT is really meant to empower our students. We want you to go out there and explore and play and tinker and fool around in that lab. Certainly, we're going to make sure you know how to use that $1 million equipment before you start playing with it, but we want you to just go out there and follow your passions. Another thing that we do offer is a real devotion to innovation and entrepreneurship. If you have some kind of light bulb idea that you've been playing around with your head, we want to give you the guidance, resources, programming, opportunities for funding so that you can make that light bulb into a reality. Of course, we have a makerspace. We have all sorts of labs and facilities across campus. Magic Center that you see on the screen, that's a full Hollywood level production facility devoted to film and animation, game design and development, augmented reality, virtual reality. Again, multiple opportunities for interdisciplinary collaborative work. You can talk to engineering students, computing students, business students, packaging science students, graphic design students, people coming from all stripes, just with a great energy and all coming together for the same kind of purpose, which is really just doing what it is that they love. We do have study abroad opportunities, and we also have international locations. So you can take official RIT branded classes, but do so abroad, China, Croatia, Kosovo, and Dubai, but many different options across all different countries, and the world will open up eventually. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that wherever it is that you do study. Finally, if you were thinking that you might want to take it a step further, we have accelerated graduate degrees so that you can get your master's degree in 5 years rather than the traditional 6. There are many different combinations available. It has a scholarship built into it. And as I said, it's a great opportunity for you to just take a deeper dive and get to that higher level at the same time, all while doing it in less time overall. Now, with such a large community, we have a very vibrant and diverse campus life. There's over 300 different clubs, hundreds of events that are happening annually. Yes, even during the pandemic. There is Greek life as well, although it's not a huge thing on campus, and it is very community service oriented. If you are interested in playing varsity sports, we are Division III for everything except for hockey, that is Division I. But we're doing everything at the club, recreational, and intramural level. Just like academics is not going to limit you in any sense of the word, so too the extracurricular activities. We want you to go out and do what it is that you like to do. So if there's a sport that you play or a club that you want to join that's not on any of our lists, you can just go out there, get a bunch of people, and do that as well. If any of you are interested in the performing arts, we love the performing arts at RIT, even though we are a tech school. We're actually growing this and expanding our programming, making new facilities. We have a performing arts scholarship. And although there aren't any majors, there's about 40 different minors and more than 24 different theater, dance, musical, and other performing arts organizations. And as I said, we do have a performing arts scholarship. So we'd love to give you some money if you'd like to continue the performing arts at RIT. Now, when you do apply, most of our students are applying directly to a major, but at your age, literally impossible to know what you're going to do for the rest of your life. So every college has an exploration option. And this is a one-year program where you get to explore every major within a particular college. You taste, sample, and explore, talk to students, professors, professionals, figure out which one's the best fit for you, and then you can declare your second year. In terms of financial aid, we just need a FAFSA for need-based aid. You're automatically considered for merit-based aid. The performing arts just has a scholarship. And if you do have any questions at all, certainly please feel free to reach out to me. There are many different virtual options, but you can always come in person. And the last thing I'll plug will be introducing RIT, which is essentially a virtual open house. All of these links are in the chat, so please reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Rochester Institute of Technology, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Syracuse University.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Bobby Mason. I'm an assistant director of admissions with Syracuse University. Just to begin, we are a private Research One institution. We are a residential college, and so students are living on our campus for at least the first 2 years. As you can see in this snapshot of our campus, it's very walkable. There's lots of green spaces, but we are located just outside of Syracuse, the city. So there's an urban center about 10 minutes from campus. And I really like to emphasize this fact because not only is there lots to do on our campus, but the city really serves as an extension of the classroom for our students. So they can do internships locally. We have 4 hospitals nearby. So there's a lot of great opportunities in addition to those theaters, restaurants, and shops that are nearby. So Syracuse is considered medium-sized with about 15,000 undergraduates and then anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 graduate students. And we have a lot of academic opportunities that I'll go into in just a minute. But just for reference, I do like to kind of show where we are located. So we're about 4.5 hours from New York City. We have people coming from all over. So there's a lot of different ways to get to our campus, either by car, bus, train, or you can fly. And we even have centers outside of Syracuse. So some students will spend some time in our centers in New York City, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C., or they might take their studies abroad. So in terms of the academics, that 15,000 number that I mentioned starts to feel much smaller because when you apply to Syracuse University, you don't just apply generally, but you do have to apply to a specific college or school. Across our 10 undergraduate colleges and schools that you see on the screen, we have 200 majors and 100 minors. So there's a lot of different options. We were founded as a liberal arts institution, and that remains true to our core today across all of the different schools, but those might vary in terms of the requirements. We do have professional degree programs. We have talent-based programs like architecture and our College of Visual and Performing Arts. And then we have various pathways. If you do want to go on to pursue a graduate degree, we have some accelerated programs as well as partnerships. And you can see on the right-hand side, some of our well-known programs and nationally ranked options. What is nice about all these academic opportunities is that you do have access to them as a student at Syracuse. So you can take classes across the schools. You might decide you want to add a minor or even a second major. As you're navigating all these options, you will have an academic advisor to assist you with your course selection. They'll help you kind of create that custom roadmap. So your pathway as an engineering student or as a business student might be very different from your peer. We also want students to be thinking about long-term. And so career advisors are housed in the college or school in which you're studying, and they'll assist you as you're pursuing internships and also looking for jobs later on. At the heart of really all of the different schools, though, is that experiential learning, and that may look a little bit different. Our acting students are going to be in performance spaces. Others will be, working with our flight simulator, but available to all students is research opportunities. As a research institution, is something that's happening across all disciplines. We have a lot of faculty engaged, and our undergraduate students are also able to participate in that. Some of these opportunities might take you globally. We have 5 centers abroad, and then we also have a number of partner programs. So if you would like to study elsewhere, experience different culture, maybe hone in on your language skills, it's certainly possible. And about half of our students will have one of those experiences. Bringing it back to campus, though, there's a lot to do, and we really want you to connect with your peers, learn from them, and there's a lot of different ways for you to really have a social life on campus, and we really emphasize that balance. Syracuse offers over 300 clubs and organizations. They range from performance-based groups to social justice clubs. We do have Division I athletics, which is definitely a big part of the school spirit Syracuse is consistently known for. And then we want to support our students not just in the classroom, but also holistically. So there's some new exciting buildings on campus, like our Barnes Center, which is essentially a one-stop shop for everything related to health and wellness. There's an esports room there, rock climbing, and then our Shine Student Center was just newly renovated, and our cultural centers are there, and they offer some mentoring programs and are consistently doing activities and celebrations throughout the year. So in terms of joining the Syracuse community, we are exclusively on the common application. We just have the 2 decision plans, early decision and regular. We don't have early action. And I'll just reiterate that when you apply, you are indicating the specific college or school. You can list up to 2 options and you would rank them in order of preference. We do a holistic review process. So that's looking at grades, writing, things that you're engaged in school or maybe outside of school, letters of recommendation, and we are test optional for fall and spring 2022. We do offer interviews for students. It's a completely optional part of the application, but a really good way for us to learn a little bit more about you. And those will be offered for rising seniors beginning in the summer and throughout the fall. And then, of course, in terms of affordability, it's always a big part of this important decision. Everyone who applies to Syracuse is considered for merit scholarships, and you can apply for need-based aid using the FAFSA and the CSS profile. So about 80% of our students receive some sort of aid, and we do have some unique opportunity programs, including HEOP, as well as our federal TRIO program, SSS. So if you have any questions, please go to our website. Our colleges and schools offer virtual opportunities. I'll add those to the chat along with my contact information, but you can see our general admissions information on your screen right now. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Syracuse University, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Wells College. Yep, Wells College. Thank you so much.
All righty, thank you. All right, so my name is Giovanna. I'm from Wells College. Not only am I an admissions counselor, I'm also an alum. I actually went to Wells. I was a student, and I was born and raised in Brooklyn. So one thing you have to know about Wells is a small school. So think small and then think smaller. We have less than 500 students total. That's our entire student body. We're located in Central New York in the Finger Lakes region. It is rural. We're about an hour from Syracuse, about 35, 40 minutes from Ithaca, about 5 hours from New York City, to give you a place of where it is. But we're right on Cayuga Lake, and that gives us a lot of opportunity to do research, experiments, environmental science, biology. That's some of our perks of where we're located. So Wells is a private liberal arts schools. We have an array of different majors, minors, pre-professional tracks. We do have we call it the cross-registration program. So what that means is whatever class is not offered at Wells, you could go take at no additional cost at either Cornell University, Ithaca College, or Cayuga Community College. We also have some accelerated degrees for, let's see, business, engineering, nursing, pharmaceutical sciences, and education. All right, we have, because we're small, we have a student to faculty ratio of 9:1. We have great opportunities for research as an undergrad, study abroad. We have, internships is kind of mandatory at Wells. 100% of our student body does more than one internship. From the class of 2019, 80% of our class were employed 6 months after graduation. So student life, we have a lot of different clubs and activities. We are a residential campus. Over 90% of our student body lives on campus. We are not a Greek life school, but we have a lot of traditions. We have over 15 sports teams. We are D3. As you see, over 25% of our student body are student athletes. We have a great international student community. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the admissions process. So we have our own application. We're on the Common App. Both are free. And when you apply, you're automatically considered for a merit-based scholarship. Do your FAFSA and you could get need-based scholarships as well. I believe every student is guaranteed at least $10,000 from Wells. All we need is your transcript, letter of recommendation, and a unique expression. So Wells has a holistic admissions process. So what that means is, you have the college essay, but we know not everyone can express themselves best through written words. So if you are an artist, let's see your portfolio, athletic performance. How can we get to best know you as a person? That's kind of what we want to know about you. We're test optional. We've been for a while, a long while now. So we don't need the SAT, ACT. We don't need our interview. We do suggest a campus visit. We are open in person. We have offerings of personal private tours, and we do have virtual options. You could take a virtual tour and that will be led by a current student. We have options for, virtual houses, connect you with maybe a faculty member, an alum, current students. We have those options available. And I'm going to end it there. If you have any questions, that's my contact information. Social media, if you want to follow along what's happening at Wells and learn a little bit more. And I'm going to turn it over to the next presenter.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Wells College, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. And next up, we have Quinnipiac University.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Kayla Dale. I am an admissions counselor at Quinnipiac University. So a little bit about Quinnipiac. We are located in Hamden, Connecticut. We're about 15 minutes outside the city of New Haven, about 2.5 hours from Brooklyn, New York. We have 3 campuses, and I'm going to go over the 3 campuses. So our Mount Carmel campus is home to our first and second year students. That's where you're going to take a host of your academic classes. We also have our Carl Henson Student Center, our Arnold Bernard Library, and our Athletic Center as well. So a really beautiful campus. That's one thing you'll always hear about Quinnipiac, is that our campus is extremely picturesque. Our York Hill campus is about a mile down the road from the York Hill from the Mount Carmel campus. There we have our upperclassmen housing. We also have our People's United Center. So that's where ice hockey and basketball plays. And then we also have our Rocky Top Student Center. So our Rocky Top Student Center, again, it's a very beautiful place for students to study. It has a workout facility. It has a dining hall. There are no academic classes on that campus, though. It's strictly residential. Our North Haven campus is about 10 to 12 minutes away from our Mount Carmel campus. There we have our Center for Medicine, Nursing, and Health Science Studies. Our law school and school of education is also located on that campus. So it's really great. Quinnipiac's really great place if you want to, go into the health sciences. So nursing, occupational therapy, physical therapy, physician assistant, state-of-the-art facilities. Our students are practicing with a lot of the technologies that they are going to see in their fields. So some things that you should know about Quinnipiac is that we are a medium-sized institution. So we have 10,000 students, 7,000 undergraduate students, 3,000 graduate students in a 16-to-1 ratio. So for every 16 students, there's 1 professor. So if you're looking for an institution where your professor is going to know you by name, where you're never going to be taught by a graduate assistant or a teaching assistant, then perhaps we are a good fit for you. We like to use the analogy that our campus is big enough for you to meet new people every day, but also small enough for you to always bump into familiar faces. Now, outside of the classroom, we have over 140 clubs and organizations available to students. In the fall, we have something that is called an involvement fair. It's a great way for incoming students to learn about the different clubs and organizations available on campus. We are Division I and 21 athletics. We are very well known for ice hockey at Quinnipiac, but we have a nice selection of other activities and sports organizations available on campus. We have club sports and intramural sports. So if you happen to play a sport in high school, you're not going to play on a Division I level, you can definitely try out for a club sport. Intramural sports is a way for you to continue to be active and healthy. Greek life, Quinnipiac does have a Greek life culture, but it is community service based. It is not any housing on campus for those students. And we also have local, global community and service opportunities available. Now, I did see a question in the chat that asked about which of the colleges have dual degree programs. Quinnipiac does have a number of dual degree programs. In fact, 20 of them. And dual degree programs mean that you're able to get your undergraduate degree and master's in Tatum in an expedited amount of time. So here are our different programs that we have available for the dual degree programs. And how they typically work is that you apply to the school. So say if you're interested in business, you apply to our School of Business and you apply to one of the majors within the School of Business, so say accounting. And then we invite you to the dual degree program. So it's 3 years of the undergraduate degree, 1 year of the master's. You can do an MBA or you can do an MS in accounting. And again, that's how it pretty much works for all the dual degree programs that we have at the institution. We do look for students to be within the top 20 percentile of their class, and typically they have about a B+ average or higher if they're to be considered for the dual degree program. Now, some things that you should know about Quinnipiac. We do have concrete deadlines, and you guys are a little early in the state in the college process. So some of this may be a little fuzzy when you're going to apply, but our early decision deadline is November 1st. Our early action deadline is November 15th. Early action 2 is January 1, and regular decision is February 1. Early decision means that it's a binding contract and we are expecting you to commit to the university. And yeah, it's really an opportunity for you just to know a little earlier where you're going to be committing to for your freshman year. When you're applying to Quinnipiac, you can use the Common Application or the Quinnipiac application, whichever one you choose is entirely up to you. If you're applying through the Common Application, it opens up on August 1st. That is the earliest that you can start sending materials to us. You don't have to wait until the deadlines in order to start sending stuff to Quinnipiac. We are test optional for most majors, except for our PA program and our 3+3 program in our law school. So for those programs, you do have to submit test scores for, but outside of that, you are able to go test optional. If we need additional information in order to make a decision on your application, then we will request it from you. And then something else you should know is that we are looking to have a high school transcript from each school that you have applied to, in addition to a college essay. If you have any more questions, again, please feel free to leave it in the chat, and I'll also leave my email address as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Quinnipiac University, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. All right. I want to invite all of my panelists and presenters back. I have a quick question for you all. We have a couple extra minutes here. All right, so my question for you is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we're just gonna go in presentation order. So University of Chicago, you are first.
Such a great question. I love, there's so much advice I could give, but I'm gonna narrow it down to one piece. I encourage students to be as introspective as they can throughout this process. It truly works best when you are thinking ahead of time and thinking deeply about your wants, your needs, your interests, the environment that makes you the most excited and sets you up the best for success might not look the same as it does for your best friend or your other classmates. So we want to make sure that we find the college fit that really reflects those aspects. So take this time, especially since you all are starting early, to think about what it is that helps you learn the best and makes you excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Rochester Institute of Technology.
Sort of a similar message, just to sort of give it, honest thought. There is a lot of pressure, and this can be very overwhelming as much as it is exciting. By the same token, realize that there's going to be some stumbling along the way. Maybe you're going to make some mistakes, but literally nothing is written in stone. Your life is going to go on. It's not the end of the world. You'll always be able to course correct. So just take some of that pressure off.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Syracuse University.
Yeah, some great advice already given. I always like to tell students to stay open-minded. You probably haven't heard of a lot of schools, and you're going to continue to do research. And as you continue to explore your college options, certain things might become more of a priority for you. You yourself might go through experiences and might change. I'm sure you're not the same person you were a year ago. And so as you continue to learn more about these colleges, once you start to hear back from them, just stay open-minded and don't try to, have this whole plan of where you're going to go, but know that there's a lot of great schools out there and you will end up at one. And really, wherever you go, it's what you make of that experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Wells College?
Self-care. So that's my advice. Like, please take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. This is trying times for everyone. Be patient. Who knows? Maybe what you find as a great self-care technique could be a good college essay topic. Maybe. Just some advice.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Quinnipiac University?
So my advice would definitely just to be vigilant and do your due diligence. Oftentimes students are so caught up with all the various deadlines. I recommend probably making a spreadsheet or in a notebook, just writing down all your college deadlines. If there's something that you want to attend, if there are any virtual visits or something like that, make sure you just write it down and that you're knowledgeable, because colleges do look at those things. We want to see how often you've attended our events, or if you're really serious about committing to that school. So I would just say be mindful and aware of all your deadlines.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I have one more question because I think we have a little bit more time. All right. What is your favorite event or tradition on campus? So I've heard in my many facilitations, lots of wacky ones, lots of fun ones dealing with food, ones that are more on the traditional sense of higher education, right? So there's all different kinds. So give me one, maybe your favorite or some kind of tradition or event that happens on your campus. And University of Chicago, you're first.
Again, so many awesome answers. I'm going to go with Milkshake Wednesdays because it's my personal favorite for very delicious and selfish reasons. Every Wednesday, one of my favorite dining spots on campus, Hutchinson Commons, or Hutch as we call it, offers a station that provides milkshakes with toppings in different flavors for just $1. And so if you need a way to celebrate getting halfway through the week, or maybe you're feeling a little tired and need a sugar high before you ultimately crash again, it is a great place to go.
I like Milkshake Wednesdays. Love it. Awesome. Thank you. Rochester Institute of Technology.
We have an annual festival called Imagine RIT. Pre-pandemic times, 30,000 people would descend upon campus. It's an all ages event that's essentially a showcase for everything that our students have been doing. And it's literally all the colleges and departments opening their doors and just presenting on everything that they've been tinkering and playing with. And my favorite exhibit at the last one, the first one that I went to, was actually medical illustration, where they just had a whole wall of gross, disgusting drawings of things that can happen to the human body. So it was just kind of cool to check out and see all the things that people were just playing with and doing what they enjoyed.
Love it. Thank you so much. Syracuse University.
So mine's a little bit more of the traditional sense, but I guess a favorite event is our Orange Central weekend. It's basically homecoming combined with reunion. So it's just a big Orange Fest. There's a football game, alumni come back and connect with various clubs and just professors. And it just really captures that sense of school spirit that Syracuse is known for, but kind of amplified for the whole weekend. So that's my favorite.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wells College.
So mine's is a little more personal. So I lived in the hall that had the bell tower, and the last middle of the day, the bells always ring. So every day after class, I'm going to my room to take a nap. And so when the bells start ringing, that's a beautiful way to wake up, alarm clock to go get dinner with, me and my friends. So that's my favorite tradition at Wells.
Thank you so much. Quinnipiac.
So one of the traditions at Quinnipiac, one of our 140 clubs and organizations is called the Big Event, and it's a community service-based organization. And so students outreach to different sectors within New Haven County to give back to those facilities. And I think it's awesome that our students are thinking of ways to give back and pay it forward. So it's a Saturday, and it's just a big Saturday of community service. That would have to be like one of my favorites.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. I know I kind of put you on the spot there a little bit with that second one, but you all did such a great job. I knew it wasn't going to be an issue because you all have such fun events and things like that going on your campuses. So thank you again so much. And thank you just for being here, presenting, and being, able to give our attendees here a little appetizer of your schools and institutions. Now, my attendees, thank you all for joining as well. I hope you learned a lot. I know I did, and I hope that you are taking some notes. Remember, super short session, but it is your job after this to go ahead and do a deeper dive into these schools. Also, please give us some feedback after you close this window. A quick 4-question survey will appear. We really do appreciate the feedback, and also sign up for more sessions. We do have another time slot happening right after this one, as well as some time slots tomorrow. So go ahead and check those out. And if you'd like to relive the fun, a recording will be available within the next few business days at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. With that said, you all, again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, everybody.